Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. We're all back. We have Sammy, Kayla, and Lucas and I are here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hoo.
And we're back to talk about some more boy group debuts for, we would say the second half of the year, but we kind of didn't do that at all.
The last 1/3 of the year, kind
and
of.
There were
also,
so many. We managed to get enough, though.
Yeah. We weren't planning a part 2, but then after all these announcements,
but then it was like, here's 7 groups that are debuting right now.
Right after I think we did part 1, there started to be announcements of like 5 boy groups debuting within a month of each other. And then we're like, well, I guess we're doing part 2.
Yep.
I guess because now we have boy groups just here all the time. So here we are.
And that's also now apparently our brand is to talk about debut era boy groups.
I mean, I had a lot of fun, and I think we'll have a lot of fun this time. And I'll say that the quality of groups that are coming out are pretty good. So
we do have like significantly less material for each of these groups. They've only had all of them one comeback. Unlike last time where I think we managed to get multiple comebacks. But overall, I think the quality is great.
Except for one thing, the group names.
They got worse.
The group
has
names
gotten a lot worse.
So remember how we complained about how bad DKB and MCND were named, and how DKB wasn't an acronym, and how that was a bad name? Well, like, the last third of this year was like, so we take your DKB and we raise you, like, Bay173 and Ghost9 and Drippin. And I'm just like, what's happening with the K-pop
Harmony
names? What's happening with the names?
Yeah.
And
getting worse.
There are 2 boy groups who didn't even end up officially debuting that were announced that have even worse names than the ones we're talking about right now.
Hold off, because we might have to talk about them on next year's.
It's bad.
Next year's, when we do this again, probably next year as we keep doing this. 2021
next
boy
year
groups
in
part
June
1.
looks forward to boy groups of 2021.
Yep.
Of course.
Well, I think we'll just head right into it. With our first group, and Lucas is going to talk about it.
And the first group we're going to be talking about today is Ghost9. They debuted September 23rd with their mini album pre-episode 1 Door with the title track Think of Dawn. Ghost9 comes from the company Maru Entertainment. Maru has done other stuff in the past. We'll kind of get along to one of the groups they just kind of recently debuted, and they're probably most known for also having Park Ji-hoon, the 101 member, as a soloist. So they're also a big acting company, so if you know some of their actors, that's probably what you know them from. The group has 9 members, which are kind of a mix from a lot of kind of complicated backgrounds, but it's pretty simple. 2 of them are from Mix9, Junhyung and Dongjun. A bunch of them are Produce X members, Junsung, Woojin, Taesung, and Jinwoo. And then 3 of them were from a group that Maru debuted last year called Teen Teen, and they just kind of re-debuted them in a bigger group.
I have not thought about Teen since the minute they debuted, and then
I heard they existed and then did not pay attention to them at all, and now they're back in another group.
It's Ghost9.
Yeah, as Ghost9. And those 3 members are Woojin, Taesung. Wait, that's twice.
Yeah, because he was also in Produce X.
He's in both.
Yeah, and Jinwoo was also.
And Jinwoo was also in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are kind of the only members that matter. Or or you would recognize from other things. That's fair.
Have history.
Have history
every
that
K-pop has to have a history now.
Has to have a Mix9 and a Produce member in it.
It has to have just lengthy history of just you must have followed them for years.
You already know who all these people are, right? Definitely.
Of course, deep connections.
And just as a little aside, Ghost9 is the only one who's already slated for a new comeback.
Yes,
I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes?
By the time this
maybe.
episode airs, there'll be 4 comebacks from all the other ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway,
That's how
they do have a
K-pop works now.
yeah, they do have a comeback on December 10th. So I think that already has a name and some teasers already out. So go check that out if you're interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
The basic rundown on the sound and like kind of vibe of Ghost 9 is that it's kind of like industrial, dubsteppy, K-poppy, but not super rap heavy, like not as rap heavy as I think I would expect from like that sound and, you know, like a new boy group. They're pretty dance heavy and they have some decent vocals, but I think the big problem we have is that especially this
it's incredibly generic.
It's
generic, but
it's what you think a K-pop boy like hip-hop influenced K-pop boy group that has like
it's very similar
sort of what I
to
picture in my head when you think generic K-pop.
They're very similar to Monster X, but like with less rapping.
The most I could describe it is if people that listen to part 1 is Gravity. Them and Gravity have a very similar.
They're on the same
sort of
level of generic.
Yeah. Just I think you would, instead of, you know, having it be a little bit more, you know, not mature, but like, you know, a little bit more like, I don't know, like suit concepts, instead it's like more hip hop concepts. Yeah.
And it's also just the fact of like, I don't think the problem is the members, because all the members have shown that they are talented in other things. I just think the problem with a lot of these boy groups is just the songs given. They're very safe to the point of uninteresting. Like,
it's like you hear the title track and it's forget it immediately because there's nothing special about it.
Like even if they were worse songs, like bad, like I'm saying actually bad songs, I would remember them slightly more than I do a generic safe song. Not that I'm saying anyone should do bad music. I'm not advocating for that, but I would.
It is memorable. Bad music is definitely memorable.
I just feel like we have the least amount to say about Ghost 9 of any of these
I know the
groups.
least about Ghost 9, I think, of the groups that we're talking about, too.
You have the Mix 9 connection, though, Kayla.
Do you think I remember all, like, 200 plus, almost 300 people who are on Mix 9?
Surprised you didn't make flashcards.
Yes, I want you to have an encyclopedic knowledge of every single one of them.
What's Dongjen's blood type? Come on, man.
She probably could.
You got like a 20% chance of winning.
That's what I'm saying.
It is not on K-pop profiles.
She has a decent chance of guessing it right.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have them listed. Yeah. Nope. We don't.
One of the few boy groups with no blood type listed on K-pop profiles,
except for the Teen members, because they.
Because they were an actual group before.
They were.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other thing is just I think that their mini it just doesn't show that much variety.
I would say it's very similar. And then there's what is it? One of their songs, Reborn, is just a whole lot of dubstep, half the song, and I was not a fan of that.
Oh, I do have really strong opinions about one of these songs on the mini called It's Gonna Be Hot, where I think that song has the potential to be like really, really good. But they do this really disgusting thing.
It is maybe my favorite song on that album.
They do this. So the closest thing I can describe this to is they do the Momoland thing where they throw in like a random like rap after the first chorus that just doesn't belong in the song because it's bad.
Not at all.
It's a weird rap and also the sound is just completely different than the rest of the song and it like ruins the whole thing. If you take that out, it's a really good song, but it's just very weird.
It's just, I think a lot of it is just, you can tell it's very influenced by other K-pop groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so safe that it's a whole lot of, like, it's not bad. I can't say it's terrible.
It's not bad.
Objectively
Nothing about
so,
it
I cannot
is
say
actively
it's bad.
bad.
But I also cannot say it is something I will ever seek out to listen to. Because I have better versions of all of what they're doing from other people. And
like I listened to that
to have an identity.
I listened to that mini album purely for this episode. Like when they have their comeback, I'm probably not gonna listen to the rest of the album because I just don't really care that much.
Mm-hmm. Again, then the members seem to be talented. Like they could probably do good music if given good songs. I just want them to get better songs.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of their problems are more on the production side of the group.
Yeah.
So.
So do we want to move on to the resident Willem expert?
Yes.
Yeah.
How surprising.
Willem Stan.
That.
Willem Stan, get going.
Willem Stan right here.
Here we are. So our next group we are talking about is Drippin, which I never would have thought Golden Child would no longer be the worst named group in Willem, but here we are.
So soon, too. So
soon. Oh boy, I hate their names.
Also,
so
I want to point out that I think that Rocket Punch is a worse name than Golden Child. I want that on record.
I think Golden Child's pretty bad. I think
none of them are good. I just want to point out that Rocket Punch also not great.
I don't enjoy the K-pop names that include the word like boys or
child?
like kids or child in them
Junior?
because it's like, are you
Teen?
expecting your group to never age? Like what's the point here?
Again, Super Junior's been doing this. They're almost 40.
They are. That is true. But Drippin made their debut on October 28th of this year with their title track Nostalgia, a mini album named Voyager. Debuted on the exact same day as the group we want to be talking about next. They are under Willem Entertainment and they have 7 members, 6 of whom have pretty substantial previous history. So Junho was on Produce X, and he was in X1 for the short amount of time that X1 was a group. Lee Hyup was an independent trainee on Produce X, and then joined Willem Entertainment after the show. And then Yoonsong, Donghyun, Changwook, and Minso were all on Produce X. Yoonsong and Changwook made it decently far into the show. And then we have my new favorite K-pop maknae, Alexander Vincent Schmidt-Lee, who is
best name in K-pop.
The absolute best named K-pop idol that exists, because that is just his real name. We mentioned him last week in the Jessica Book episode, weirdly, but he is half German, hence why his name is incredibly German.
Alexander Vincent Schmidt-Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nice.
It's very nice. So, most of the members of this group, besides Junho, who was in X1 at the time, and Alex, who was a secret trainee and just, like, people didn't know he existed for a while, had a pre-debut song under W Project 4 called 1 Minute 1 Second, and that is one of my favorite songs to ever come out of Willem. It's very good. And I think it's kind of the reason why their debut was slightly disappointing, because I wanted them to go, I think, more towards that sound than the sound that they debuted with. Because the problem with this is that this is Willem's attempt to make the most generic Willem boy group they could possibly ever create.
It just sounds like Willem. That is the only way you can describe Drippin. It just sounds
Willem.
like Willem.
Yeah.
It is so generic Willem. And it's kind of disappointing in a way, because I was expecting them to have a slightly darker concept and their music to be slightly more than just generic Willem, because that's really all they were given, is they were given the most Willem of Willem songs. And in a way it's disappointing, because I don't want them to be that group, because especially because like all of them I know are very talented because of their pre-debut song, and because all of them were on Produce X and have done really great stuff there. And so I'm kind of hoping that they stray a little bit farther away from just generic Willem with their future comebacks. But I mean, I still like it because I do like the Willem sound a lot, but it was slightly disappointing for me because I had higher expectations for them, I think, because I had been waiting for this group since they sent all of them to Produce X. So yes.
Yeah, I think that we talked about this in our Willem episode, where it's like,
we did.
Drippin needs something. Like, they need a little bit more of their own flavor.
They have no, like, absolutely no, like, personality or concept as a group right now. Which is, because their music video also, for Nostalgia, isn't just, it's back to your very generic Willem music videos again. And there is just, like, absolutely nothing interesting there. And I really had high expectations for them, because I know they're all very talented already. So I kind of am hoping I get more better stuff out of them in future comebacks.
And here's the thing, like, I can tell that they're very talented. I like watching a lot of, and here's the thing with Drippin. Drippin's one of the few boy groups on here where I liked watching a lot of their, like, behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
And
they're very cute.
It was just, they're very sweet. And, like, I just want more for them. There's
I want so much more for them.
They're gonna be great if you give them something. They could be a very, like, top tier boy group.
And the thing is they have decent popularity because besides, like, Treasure and Enhypen, they're the next highest selling, like, and charting boy group that has debuted this year. So they have, like, I mean, they're not even close to, like, the Treasure or Enhypen levels, but, like, they're doing good.
Respectable.
It's respectable, and it is Woolham, so, like, they have the pedigree of quality that they do because they make good groups. Like, you don't get, I mean, you already have Infinite and Golden Child, and this is just, I just think that they just haven't, I don't know if it's because some of these groups are debuting so generic because they want to, like, get the X1 hype, because I think post the X1 disbandment, I think there was a lot of scrambling because no one expected to have to make a group so quickly. Yeah. And do I think that maybe that's why a bunch of groups are like great trainees but slightly mediocre music? That might be what's happening. It's just like everyone's trying to debut the X1 members as quickly as you possibly can.
X1 not disbanded, I do believe Woolham still would have debuted this group just without Junho, but I don't think it would have been until, like, next year, or even the year after.
They would have had more time.
They just debuted Rocket Punch last year.
Yeah.
So, if Junho had not been free of his, like, X1 contract, like, that soon, I think it would have been another year and a half or so before they debuted.
Yeah, I like to put, because, again, the blame isn't on the members are talented. The blame is more on, for all of these groups, the blame is on production, and I think that a lot of that can be said is rushed production. Because, like, you're trying to capitalize on fame that is, like, I think everyone assumed that they had, 7 years? How long was X1 supposed to be a group?
X1 was a 5-year contract. The first 2.5 years were exclusive to the group. The last 2.5 were unexclusive. So they could have debuted in other groups.
They had 2.5 years that they thought that they were going to have to make a group. As opposed to, oh shit, it's all exploded. Make the group now before everyone forgets that X1 was
because you'll notice that a lot of Produce X and X1 members are now debuting, and even these groups we're talking about.
We'll get more of them.
We'll get to more of them later.
We're just gonna keep getting more of them, and that's the thing of just like, it's one of those things where it's like you can feel for why they wanted to do this, and the groups all have like an immense amount of potential. And I think that once these companies are finally able to, like, get a footing on, like, and actually decide, well, what do we want Drippin to be? Then they can sort of figure out and actually give them songs that fit that concept, as opposed to this where they're like, we need to make something, so let's just make something that we know works.
I think
which is the most generic Woolham song imaginable.
I think they went very also generic because I don't think they wanted to make Drippin into just Golden Child 2.0. And because Golden Child has done both the cute and the dark end of the spectrum, I think it was hard for them to find a niche area that Drippin was going to fit in that Golden Child wasn't already doing. So I think maybe that's why they went really generic at first, but I just really hope that they're not going to just stay there for the entirety of their career.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, as I heard it, and I'm like, well, this honestly just could have been a lovely song, even, or...
You change all of the songs of that album slightly, you can give it to any other group in Woolham, except maybe Rocket Punch.
Rocket Punch
is another thing, but, yeah.
But even
but
still,
you could give it
also,
to literally Infinite Golden Child or Lovely, you could take any of those songs.
Rocket Punch.
What? Sorry?
You could
figure out a way to give this a
I'm sure you could. I mean, it wouldn't be hard.
You could probably give nostalgia and, like, tweak nostalgia a little bit, give it to Rocket Punch. Like, I can kind of see that.
Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed myself. I did like it.
I mean, I listened to it. I have it in my, like, actual playlist.
And it's probably one of the boy groups on here that I listen to the most. And, like, it's the one that I have a lot of faith in. Where it's like, I know that they're going to be good in the future. I know that I'm probably going to like...
they have a future with them. I think their company will back them up. Because they definitely committed to making this. So other groups didn't seem like, again, like the whole, like, gotta get a group out as fast as possible. And see if it succeeds right off the bat, which usually doesn't happen usually
boy
takes a
groups,
few.
in a way, do take a lot longer to become
Build.
successful because they build a fan base over time, but tend to keep that fan base for way longer.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I mentioned Super Junior's been doing this for 15 years.
Yep. They're still going strong.
Yeah, I feel like since they committed to making this group, they're committed to like giving them.
I just think they
we
need
don't
to,
know how
like,
much we'll get, but figuring
all
out
right,
their
then
sound.
here's the interesting question, Kayla. Where do you see them fitting? Like, what concept do you want them to stick with? Because the problem really is that Golden Child has these dueling concepts going on.
I know, that's the thing.
That, like, what do you give Drippin?
I want Drippin to have that darker concept that Golden Child has, and I was convinced that they made Golden Child come back with Pump It Up to go back to cute so they could debut Drippin with that concept. And that didn't happen.
So do we think that they're just gonna do, like, in a different way, obviously, something similar to what Golden Child did
Anytime
with
there's
their,
a dark Golden Child song, it'll be an uplifting Drippin
Yeah,
song.
they're just gonna have opposite
Drippin.
concepts every comeback. Yeah.
It'll just be
Rocket
like back
Punch
and forth.
And freaking what are the Lovelies will do their flip flop as well. They'll just
with Rocket Punch.
Rocket Punch and
Rocket
Lovelies
Punch
are
is gonna get like
concepts.
a super mature, like, vocal heavy song.
Yep.
Yeah, Rocket Punch is gonna kill that.
That's what's gonna happen.
Willem's just gonna start having like twins. It's like
we're gonna have like Concepts
groups.
Roulette at Willem Entertainment.
Concept Roulette. All right.
Who's getting the rock ballad?
Drippin.
Infinite whenever they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a circle at that point.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we can move on.
Oh, okay. So I got P1 Harmony. So they're under FNC Entertainment, which I also did not expect to debut a group this quickly.
Oh,
and that
was a very fast turnaround for FNC as well.
Very quick. Because
they've
also
been pretty
Cherry
busy,
Bullet debuted
last year.
Bullet just debuted last year. So they debuted on October 28th with their song Siren. And they have 6 members for one of the only times that most of the members are brand new. The only one is Jungsub, who's the maknae, who won K-Pop Star 6 and was on YG Treasure Box, and he was eliminated on episode 9. And then they had this, first time you saw them was this weird pre-debut movie trailer. Which we will not talk about. We're just not going to talk about. So
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what happened to that movie.
I think it's a trailer. I think it's just a trailer. I don't think they made a movie.
What happened?
They didn't make a movie. They made a trailer, and that's it. I don't know what it was promising. I don't know what it was. It also really didn't have anything to do with
they were supposed to have K-pop cinematic universe, and I'm like, I hate everything about that. I'm like, please get rid of it.
I like to ignore that it ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
I like to ignore that it ever happened. But
we're gonna pretend that doesn't exist anymore.
So P1 Harmony has 6 members and I think 4 rappers. If that says anything about the style of music that they're making. And surprisingly, this was the biggest surprise of this year.
It really was.
I think that
they debuted the same day.
Same day
as Drippin. And oddly enough, somehow, we were on board with P1 Harmony very quickly. We were clowning on their name for a very long time.
I was expecting a hot mess from P1 Harmony because of the K-pop cinematic universe garbage, and I'm like, they're gonna be a disaster. Like, this is not gonna work. And then they debuted, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually not bad at all.
This is actually quite good. I very much enjoy it. Like, I did not think, also, when you see a group that has 4 rappers in it, and it's 6 members... You start to just look at it like,
good, like, balancing of members there.
Is that how this is gonna go? But, like, overall, it was, like, surprisingly really good. I really enjoyed it. I think they pull it off really well. They have good rappers on, like, a lot of young debut groups.
Yeah, they have surprisingly really good rappers for them coming from FNC Entertainment. They have surprisingly good rappers.
Who is not known for their rapping skill.
FNC who has 3 bands.
3 bands.
I was gonna say, with the exception of the groups I talk about, this is the group I probably enjoyed the most and listened to the most, especially Siren. I really like that song.
Siren's a very good debut.
The one thing I will give P1 Harmony, and this is something that we noticed after we had to watch like 3 live stages just to make sure that we were right with our assumption. P1 Harmony is one of the few groups that has debuted recently whose dancing skill is like
very below average for K-pop standards.
For K-pop standards. Like, you see these boy groups debut now, and their dancing is like insane. Their choreos are like crazy. And this seems more like dancing that would be done in groups that debuted in like 2012 or like earlier. Like, the dancing is not where they put their focus on with this group.
It's weird.
Like, that's not bad,
because
but it's just something that we
noticed. The dancing
noticed.
is usually not a problem you notice with boy groups specifically, too. But their
dancing is usually insane.
Really not that good.
No.
And honestly, this also feels like a very rushed debut as well.
Yes.
It seems like it was like, let's just gather up all of the boys that we have and just shove them out as fast as we can. Like, it doesn't seem like this was a long planned out debut.
Yeah, I don't know. Enhypen C really, they did C in Blue as well, and it's just like we gotta rush out stuff.
I mean, I think it's the end of the year. This end of the year has seemed like it's just been everyone throwing everyone out and just doing things.
For some reason, everyone decided they were going to debut a group. Everybody.
Not even debut a group or have a comeback, and I just feel like I have no time to absorb anything. Because I'm just like, the minute someone has a good song, I get another good song the day after, and I'm like, I feel overwhelmed. And
the amount of K-pop music has been
overall
insane.
The quality of songs
absolutely
has gotten
insane.
Better. Like, the quality has gotten better, but I have less investment in them because I have no time to just like sit with them and have that be the song I listen to. I just have so many other songs.
I'm kind of beyond the point K-pop where I'm like looking to actively stan groups now. The only reason I like Drippin is because of their Woollim, and I also had been invested in them since Produce X. But like, if if P1 Harmony debuted like several years ago with like this songs and everything, and I really liked it, I probably would have taken the time to try to like know the members and everything. But there's just so much content in K-pop I can't anymore.
Look, at this point, I just passively live my life with K-pop, and if there's a group that really sticks out over time, then I'll invest. I can no longer invest from debut. With rare exceptions.
Yeah. Just calling
where
it
it's
out right now.
You're getting called out.
Yeah, it's just a call out for... Well, Dan, you've also been into K-pop way less time. You stand way less groups than me and Kayla do.
That's true.
Like, I already have a back catalog of so many other groups I care about that I'm like,
when I was in my first couple years of K-pop, I would stand groups that debut.
You stand
like, that's what
when
you
you're
do.
in the first couple years of K-pop,
I guess
you just
because
stand everything
I've gone
that's
back
like
enough.
decent.
Yeah, I've gone back enough now to see what groups that I've already I care about, and now I'm just waiting for new stuff, kind of a thing. So makes sense. I'm sure 5 years from now I'll forget all about some of these groups.
Well, 5 years from now, who knows how many of them will even still be around.
You know, that's fair. Yep. That's very fair.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Hopefully all of them. Let's be honest. It's hopeful. Like, we don't want anybody to fail, but reality of K-pop is... Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about P1 Harmony?
Honestly, I like P1 Harmony. I'm excited to see where they
they're
go.
Surprisingly
and honestly,
very good.
Surprisingly very good.
Alright. Well, I get to talk about 2 of my favorite groups that debuted this year. And the first one I'll be talking about is UNVS, or Universe, and
also, this is the only group that we're talking about who debuted in the first half of the year that we missed. And are not doing now.
Because Dan demanded
the other
it.
one too,
Dan demanded
this. And we just were like, why the hell not Dan?
We were also struggling to get 8 groups, and so we're like, sure.
Oh, you'll see another great exception we made.
Yep.
So UNVS technically speaking debuted in 2016 of December, and they were predominantly supposed to be a Taiwanese group. due to not really going as popular as I hoped, I don't know. They just said, scratch that. Let's go back to Korea, where most of the members were. Two of which continued from that other group, and they just sort of rebranded and added in 3 more members. So it's a 5-member group from a company that has nothing. And like I've literally gone to their Wikipedia page and like clicked the website for the music company, and it is just an error. So if that says anything,
great.
I think that says everything you need to know about how
them.
much, like, what is happening with UNVS.
Thankfully, they are making music, and literally a few days ago, they just had another single. This group
they only make singles.
They only do singles. I was gonna say
only.
They have like 4 different music videos, but like they're all technically singles. And just in the light of, you were just talking about P1 Harmony being dance a bit below average. Well, UNVS is also quite below average, mainly because of their age group. They're a lot older members. I think the oldest is from 91, and then the youngest being from 97. So
they're just like
they're
Lucy. They're in the Lucy age category.
Relatively
Only
well.
They're not like musicians that have been doing
musicians.
Professional musicians.
And they also, since they sort of debuted so early, their dance style isn't quite there. The reason I love them so much is their vocals. The vocals are right up what I enjoy the most. So just listening to their songs, I really enjoy. So they debuted with the single album Timeless, and along with that, it had like a second song they made, which is Solar Eclipse, both of which are very good. There's pretty much just one guy that produces and writes all the lyrics for all their songs, and his name is like Room 102, and I've tried looking him up everywhere. He's done a few other songs for like actually some Got 7 B-sides.
Interesting.
So it's very odd. He doesn't really have like a portfolio, I guess. I don't know. He was really hard to find, but yeah, like basically if you look at any credits, it's just his name over and over and over again. So I mean, he makes good music, and a lot of their music does sound similar, which is probably why I just constantly keep liking it. But they have a very mature style. Like they've gone through like just a very like beach song to even like a full suit concept. One of them has a very gorgeous solo. It's very good. I do enjoy this group a lot. I don't know why I don't know where I first heard them, but as soon as I first heard it, I loved it, and then every time I've heard a new song, including their most recent one, Prologue, which is written by the leader of and produced by the leader of the group. So it was very good. I really like them. UNVS. I keep talking about them because no one else cares, and that's why I bring it up all the time. But I love them. They're probably one of my favorite
It's not that we
groups.
don't care. It's just that
I have a weird take where I'm just like, I like this group so much, and you're like, but why that group?
But
I don't
why?
understand.
But why is that like the greatest?
This
group
is the
for,
group
like,
that
why,
Dan's dying on the
why
hill
that?
for.
Why am I dying on a
liking it
hill
that
for UNVS? I don't know.
Yeah.
It clicks.
You're the
with me.
only
It's
one.
just exact.
The only one in the world.
Period.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah,
one.
no,
period.
I went and looked up some facts about it, and some of the pages, like, I think it's like Genius or whatever, like has like, oh, how many views has this page had recently? And it was like 1, and it was me.
It's you.
It's just you. You can tell. We were
yes.
like,
I guess. I mean, the music is not bad. They have good music.
No, it's decent. It's actually pretty good. I actually did like it. It's just not something I think I would have ever listened or found. It's that like
I was super happy I found it.
They are just
that way,
so
because I never would have found it. It's
They're
very obscure. And so yeah, they debuted earlier this year in February. I don't know if I mentioned that. Second debut. But yeah, I love them. Their company is unknown, really. Chitwan Music. I don't know what will happen to them. I hope we keep getting music. I mean, it's nice that we keep, like, every now and then I just randomly pop on and I see, ooh, new single, and I'm like, yay! So they are making music, so let's see if they decide to do something. I mean, I did go even the rabbit hole down to see, like, oh, people are selling signed albums and stuff for their first album, and it's literally just a CD. And I'm like, tempted. But, you know, I'll be like one of 20 people that bought that.
That'd be worth $100 in a couple years when they
$2 more
inevitably blow up.
Any day now. Just can't wait.
Oh yeah, just the next big thing.
I mean, one of them is Chinese, so let's see if he goes into acting in that one. The group blow up.
And then just
we'll have
it's
ourselves a
massively
unique
popular in
situation.
China.
Sure.
All right, that's all I gotta say. Stan UNVS, they're very good.
Sure.
Also, one of probably the best names.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, comparison to the other names on this list.
In comparison to the other ones here, yes. Overall,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. No.
K-pop,
For today, the groups that we're talking about, I feel like it's the most.
Yes, they are the top tier
names
of the groups today.
Talk about another group with a great name, Lucas.
Yes, incredibly, innovative names here today. And I'm talking about Bay 173.
I hate that
word. Well, yeah. Okay, so it technically is an acronym because it's just,
the acronym
Bay.
for Bay. The actual acronym.
It's just Bay. The actual,
Bay.
Things the kids used to say, And then 173 stands for something, I'm pretty sure.
It's something about being like something is like 17 or 73 is like a lucky number.
No, yeah. Okay,
weird.
it includes the number 1 for perfection and the lucky number 73.
Nope.
Which again, lucky number 73 is new for me.
Okay, cool. Good to know. They debuted on November 19th with the song "Crush on You" with their mini album in Intersection Spark. They are from the company Pocket Doll Studio, which, upon further research, seems to just be an MBK shell corporation of some kind.
It's where they hide all their money.
I'm very confused.
It's very confusing. We went down a rabbit hole on what this company is.
I was like, oh, who are they? And then I was like, Pocket Doll. I've never heard of them before. And then
you go
it was
on a weird tangent. We went on a 10-minute tangent trying to figure out who Pocket Doll was, and I'm like, oh no.
They're basically into MBK.
Yeah, basically it's just they're a management company for MBK. So if past MBK actual groups were just the management side of it was taken over by Pocket Doll Studio. But now they have their own group apparently,
which is Bay 173.
Which is Bay 173. It's good. Yeah, that makes sense. That's yes. Oh, sure. So the group has 9 members, and calling back to our first boy group debut video, it is the group that H&D debuted into. So Hangul and Dohyun from X1.
So immediately us talking about them as a debut boy group has been moot. Because they debuted again.
It just didn't matter.
Say in that video too that
they were planning on debuting them in a group.
That would happen the same year that they debuted as a duo. I did not expect this to happen.
Now H&D is apparently just a subunit of Bay 173.
Yeah, they just call it a subunit of Bay.
It makes sense, but I did not think that it would be... I thought that them debuting as the duo was to hold over until they could get more members to make the group. Not hold them over for 5 months until they debut in a group.
We got 7 more boys ready to go.
Ready to go.
Fresh off the K-pop printing press.
Yep. So the group, I think it's pretty much the only ultra just cute concept that concept that debuted this year.
They'll do the
that debuted in this group.
2 more concepts and then
that's what I assumed.
And then get rid of
it was good.
I enjoyed it.
A cute boy group concept, it was good.
I like it. I think it stands out because it is the only one that's doing it.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Well, I guess, 2's doing cute now.
Now,
Yeah,
I mean,
technically,
but
not a debut,
I think
right?
at debut, because they also
Yeah.
Yeah, technically Gravity's also doing cute too.
Gravity's not
Right?
cute.
Well, Cloud9 was cute.
But that was a
I mean,
B-side.
like, I think all
Yeah,
of these
but they had a
groups
music
do
video about
cute-
it.
I mean, also, MC&D
I still
did
count it,
Spring,
yeah.
if you want to count that.
That's
Like,
Yeah,
not.
I still count it too. I mean, like, yeah.
I'm saying, like, cute
right off
for
debut,
them.
it's the only one, right?
I'm, like, talking, like, actually taking that as a debut concept, which, again, all these groups are so young, I'm shocked none of them did a cute concept.
I don't know.
Most
It
of them.
felt like there was a while where everyone was doing cute, and it probably were like.
I mean, it's all cyclical. K-pop is all cycles.
Yeah.
But I like them.
I think it was good. It was like the one
cute.
I was expecting. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, with a name like that, I had low expectations. It goes a lot into your brand when you have a name like Bay173.
Bay173.
If it
I
was
also had
like,
no idea what to expect when you have the two guys from H&D doing what H&D is
Yeah.
doing.
And then
you
here we
throw
are
them
now.
and then you start seeing teaser pictures of cute concept, and I'm like, what's happening?
oh, okay.
Like, what is
This is
going?
a trick.
Like, something is off. Something is not.
is off. And then I listened to it, and I'm like, I honestly have nothing bad really to say.
The
No,
rest of
it's
that
very
mini
good.
album is pretty good too. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it was good. I wasn't disappointed. I mean, I had no expectations.
I mean, that does help when the expectations are like non-existent and
Low.
when they're actually good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that toward the end of this year we were just sort of taking. It's not that I had low expectations. I just had no expectations because at some point I just started consuming K-pop like passively, and this surprised me with how good it was. I'm just gonna bet now they're gonna do cute for like 2 more concepts and then start transitioning into something.
Not cute. Yeah.
Not cute.
Yeah.
What that not cute will be, probably more-
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yes, they'll transition to cowboys.
Transition into Cowboys.
TXT could do it.
The
Anyone can do it.
obvious like cycle, but when is the Drippin will just become Cowboys?
All of these
Yep.
groups are
We
gonna have
got
cowboy
It's gonna
concepts.
become a
We've got-
country music group.
Yes.
That's the market that Willem has to tap into that
that's
no one
what
else is doing.
Yes,
country music.
Yeah. Country western inspired K-pop.
American country music.
Alex Vanderpin.
No, stop.
On a tractor in overalls.
With a cowboy
I don't wanna
hat
think about
and
this.
cowboy
Tattoo.
boots with just
What
a
have I done?
cow.
No.
No.
What have I done? Move on, please.
I love
Okay,
it.
look, take us away. Do something. Take us off this tangent.
Yeah. So
love it.
the next group we have is WeI, and this group is absolutely wild. Like every member, it's wild
This is
that
a
this
lot.
is a
This
group
group
that exists now.
There's a lot.
So they debuted on October 5th with the debut song Twilight and mini album Identity First Sight. And they are under OUI Entertainment, who doesn't really, I don't think they have any notable groups, do they? And
I don't think so.
so they also
I've
have
never heard of them.
no,
Besides Johan.
no idea. They have a fandom name already, which I'm pretty sure it's Rui. I think that's how you pronounce that. That's how I would assume you pronounce it.
Re.
Sure.
I like it.
Because it's we-I, but
We-I.
then no, it's we, because that's just
We.
a French word. And then for the fandom name, it rhymes with the company name, so it's re.
God.
No.
Re.
No.
Yes,
no.
that's
No,
what
I hate
that's what I'm
that.
calling
I
it
hate
from
that.
now on.
I hate
So this
everything
is-
about this.
So this is a 6.
That's what I'm calling it from now
Oh
on.
my god.
Because we're gonna say that very often. Apparently.
Also, I would like to say, it took me a long time to figure out that you pronounce this your wei and not just way, because that's what it looks like.
We were pronouncing it way for like 2 weeks.
I literally
when we
googled.
first saw the
I googled
announcement,
the
that's why we
Hangul
did it.
and had to put it on Google Translate to make sure that that was how it was pronounced, because I'm like, what are we doing with the name here? But it is wei. But anyway, they are a 6-member group. And this is where we just have the most, like, bizarre and amazing combination of members in this group. So,
It's
first of
insane.
all, we have Johan, who was on Produce X and was the center of X1. So he won Produce X. And then we have Donghan, who was on Produce 101 Season 2, and then debuted in JBJ, and then went solo for a while after JBJ disbanded. And then we have Daehyun.
Very good soloist.
Very good soloist. JBJ also very great group.
We love JBJ.
We have Daehyun, who was also on Produce 101 Season 2, and debuted in Reigns, which was another one of the Produce Season 2 project groups. They lasted a little bit longer than JBJ.
Yeah, but, they were fine.
They were not as successful as JBJ, but they did last, 6 months or something longer than them.
Yeah.
And then we have Youngha and Junso, who were both on Under 19, and then debuted in 1 to 9, which was the winning group from that show.
Who just disbanded, too. They just disbanded.
1 to 9 disbanded, and the two of them debuted in WeI, a month or two later.
A month or two?
Maybe a month later.
It was like they
It was a really fast turnaround. There was an incredibly fast turnaround on that.
Surprisingly good. Very good group. Very underrated. Is very good. Very good.
And then lastly we have Seokwa, who was also on Produce X and was also on YG Treasure Box.
Wow.
And it's just this is a combination of people to put in a group together. My God.
This history is why I think that WeI is a debuted group that I feel like is just 4 years old already. This group is not it is just you get Twilight and you're like, oh, this group's just been doing this for it's just there's nothing that feels like a debut about any of it. And inherently that's both good and bad. They're very polished, but I think that the thing with debuts is that you're supposed to get excited for it, and it's the thing of this just feels like a comeback.
I mean, JBJ and Reigns both debuted 3 years ago at this point in 2017,
and Donghyun has had an active solo career.
And then 1 to 9.
He had an active solo career.
1 to 9 has been promoting for a year or something at this point, and then they immediately get to debut into WeI. Johan was the Produce X center.
Yep.
And it's just wow.
Who also debuted solo, right? He
did debut solo before this group, yes.
So it's just this group has just this barely count. I feel like this barely counts as a debut.
Because literally
a debut for this combination of
all of them except for one of them have debuted already at least once,
and
the other member did 2 survival shows.
Treasure Box.
Yeah.
He had to go through Produce and YG. Both of those are just too much for one person to handle. Jesus.
It's insane.
This feels almost like a subunit debut where it's these people are already debuted idols.
Mm-hmm.
This is insane.
So
but they're very good.
They're very good. This is probably the album of all the groups we're talking about that I enjoy the most. I love it a lot. The music style is, I think, very similar to just music types that I like. Music style, very similar to New West. Their debut song in particular, just a New West song.
Just said New West.
Yeah. It is a New West song.
Is the same. What is it? Is it? It's not Bet
Bet.
Bet.
No, right? It's Bet Bet. Where you hear the intro of the song,
is it Bet Bet?
And I was like, "This is just Bet Bet."
Yeah,
just know it. It's just
Bet Bet because it has that same whistle that it's
yes.
Yeah. Ooh, and it's that's just the whistle from Bet Bet, and I was like, wait, is this just Newest? And then I listened to the album and I'm like, oh, this is very, very similar.
It's even funnier thinking about it
in a good way because Newest is just good.
Yeah, it's
very funny thinking about it because this is a Hui song as well. So Hui gave WeI a New West song is what happened. Which I feel like is
I never thought I'd hear.
It's just I also feel like it's just
the layers.
It's so fitting for the group that just has this combination of so many bizarre random people in it as well. I feel like of course Hui gives this group a New West song for their debut. Of course that's what they do.
Something about all of that just fits in my brain. That just is yeah, no, all of this is weird, but it fits with 2020 K-pop.
Sure.
Sadly,
this is where we're at.
This is just where we're at, where all of these people are freaking debuted idols, and they're still re-debuting.
Yeah, K-pop is great.
Mm-hmm.
What have we become?
I don't know.
I enjoy this.
I really like this group.
I like it a lot.
But I feel like I also probably have higher expectations for them than any of these other groups in a weird way. Because it's just
the weird thing is
they're
that
gonna be good.
besides Donghan, I didn't have very, like, high investment into any of the other people in this group. So, like...
No, but you just hear the pedigree and you're like...
Just hearing the people, it's just, like, you expect a lot of them, I guess. But I guess my expectations weren't quite as high as a lot of other people had, because I know a lot of people found their debut disappointing because they were expecting so much more, just given the people
with the
in
resume.
the group. Yeah.
I mean,
the resume that's on top.
But again, I think they're just very good.
With When the Nine still getting disbanded, and then, like, alright, now it's time. Like, again, like, they probably just didn't have time. It'll be a second debut where I think will be a lot stronger, or something at least more unique for them. I don't know. What did I say?
Debut. Second debut.
I mean, this will be...
They can't debut again,
right?
Dan.
This
don't
is like second debut for everybody anyway.
Don't debut. Don't make them debut one other time.
They'll make another group. Nice.
We I too.
It's gonna be IWE.
It's IWE.
I hate that. No, we're done.
Sponsored by Apple. There's just Apple.
Oh no!
No! Stop! No, we're done.
This is just revenge for the whole pronunciation thing.
Alex.
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
The pronunciation of WeI.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Sammy, bring us to the next very popular boy group that debuted this year.
So you know how we had a trouble making 8? This is where we just fell off a cliff and decided that we're going to talk about Checkmate. Mm-hmm. So Checkmate is a co-ed group under Grace Company Entertainment, who has nothing. Who's heard of Grace Company Entertainment? They debuted on September 21st with their song Drum, which is a digital single and the only song they have. And we get to talk about them because there's 5 members, 3 of them are guys and 2 of them are girls.
So they're 60% male, so thus they are here.
Exactly. Thus we count them here.
The math checks out.
Mm-hmm. And really, the biggest thing is that they've already lost a member and replaced him. So
we can already tell the direction that this group is gonna go.
So this is really just, like, long term, this is all gonna be great. So Nason already left the group and was replaced with Haechang. And this is... You can tell what this group was influenced by. I'm gonna put it that way.
Oh, yes.
What? No, there's no...
It is really...
The other notable co-ed group. The only other notable co-ed group.
We don't have to beat around the bush. We could say card. We're allowed to.
It's card, but like with 1/10 of the budget of card. And card's not even that high budget of a group.
Like, yeah.
Card's not even a high budget group. And this is like 1/10 of the card budget.
Card is great because of their, like... The members of Card are just really carrying everything. Like, the budget itself is not high.
No. It's...
And, like,
the other weird thing about Checkmate is that... So the 2 girls are significantly older than the male members of the group.
The girls
they
have,
both
like...
debuted in a weird things before.
They both did groups, but I also couldn't find any information about the groups in that. I think that they were all pre-debut and never actually debuted.
Groups. Yeah.
Like, these are groups that, like, were announced, I think, and then just never debuted. They just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, and then they finally debut under Checkmate, and it's just, they only have 1 song, and it's good.
It's a good song.
But it is
lower quality Card.
Yes, that's what it is. It's just very, very much just influenced and just, it's nothing new. And I think that the thing with co-ed groups is that there's so few of them. It's very easy to do something different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of untapped market with co-ed.
Card's really the only one that has been long running enough to, like, have a fandom and, like, didn't just disband immediately. Like, Card's the only one who has found...
The only other one is co-ed school, and that had, like, 2 comebacks, and that was about it.
And they split them into 2 different groups, like, pretty soon after that, too. Yep. And then there's Triple H, and Triple H was doing fine for a while, but that was also
sub-unit,
a
so that doesn't count.
Also,
It's just, like, I feel like this group is just doing... Again, it's another thing of, like, I think we've said this before, where it's, like, really safe debut with something people know will work because it worked with another group. It worked with kR&B. But that's the thing. Why am I going to listen to them when I can just go listen to kR&B?
I think the big problem with this group is they have no money. Their company has no money to invest anything into the group. And so I have a really bad feeling they're just never going to get
not going to
make
a comeback? Probably not.
This is just, they're just going to disappear.
They've also already lost a member. They've only, it's been like 2 months and they've lost a member.
2 months.
I am seeing some things saying that the company hasn't been treating the members well or whatever.
Yeah, that's K-pop though. That's just K-pop.
It's K-pop in general.
It's probably also because
with a new company like this, it's just an indicator that they're just going to be like, well, I'm done,
money.
Bye.
It's no money and people that are just that really want to debut because they know that they're getting older.
They are on the older end too.
On the older side.
Right. Fascinating.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, but you know, it happens.
Honestly, I think that if they were to continue,
to some groups.
Yeah, I think if they were to continue, which we don't know if they are, if they were to, I think that this group, if given the right concept and not just a kR&B clone, could be something interesting because I do think that I want more co-ed K-pop groups because I think it's a fun concept and I think it'd be fun to explore it more. I feel like the co-ed groups we get are very, like, they're either gonna go the kR&B route, which kR&B already has, or they go the Triple H and Troublemaker route, which we already have Triple H and Troublemaker. Do something different. Something interesting.
Innovate. What? In K-pop?
No, we have no money. Just gotta go with the safe bet. No risks.
That's really just very descriptive of what has happened with these debuts in the last third of the year.
And the thing
all
is,
very safe.
Overall, I think the groups are very good quality in this second half. Just no one decided to do anything interesting.
Which is sad. It's not the group's fault either, because they don't have any.
The groups are talented. I just want better for them.
Right. All right.
You want to end it off, Dan?
And for our last group, finally debuting from B-Lift Lab, Big Hit plus Mnet, whatever you like to call it, collaboration through the Island TV show that Sammy and I very thoroughly watched and have
thoroughly podcasted for hours on end.
And talked about it for hours on end. With November 30th is when we got our official debut for Enhypen. Again, with the horrible names, but I think we've gotten over it. They debuted with the track Given/Taken, and it is the mini included 4 new tracks, one of which we had heard before from the show, so not too uncommon to bring in some of the best from that show. Flicker, one of my favorite songs, so I was happy to hear that. It's a 7-member group, as we started with 23 people on the original show, boiled down to 12 members, and then again down to 7 members. So we have Jungwon, Haesung, Jae, Jake, Sunghoon, Sunu, and Nikki, and all of them are doing really well for themselves, as everyone was really enjoying the show, and now that they finally debuted, a lot more people are willing to be like, all right, now that the whole show's over and I can finally enjoy the group, we can enjoy it. So I am thoroughly enjoying it, as it was no surprise to anyone, because I obsessed over the show. I knew I was going to end up obsessing over the group as well, and I really enjoy it. I do like their sound. They sound very Big Hit, and that's a great thing, because BTS and TXT, I like their sound, and since I recognize their voices and their vocals from the show, just putting that quality of music, and this is a group that actually I feel like had good talents beforehand, but then were also given a concept right off the bat that finally fit them. It wasn't a rush job, because they kind of had this plan for a while, so it was really good. So I think that is another reason that it was as successful as it was. So again, Enhypen, I was gonna talk about it, but yeah, really good. Happy with it.
Yeah, I think I'm the one who has to apologize. They're not bad.
Sorry.
Sorry. You heard it here first,
Damn.
boys.
We
Lucas
got an
said
apology.
they're not bad.
So I want to give the backstory that the reason me and Lucas were out to dislike this group is purely because of Dan. Literally, Dan almost ruined this group for us.
98.7%
Dan
completely
almost ruined this group for us.
Just general dislike.
Oh, just general dislike for everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we could not have an actual conversation with Dan for 2 weeks after Island started airing, and it was just the worst.
Mind you, I somehow was just tasked with handling him.
Sammy was the babysitter.
This guy. Yep.
Yeah, I was just tasked with they would just leave and just leave me to handle Dan and talk about Island for hours on end. It wasn't that bad, but at some point I just wanted to have more conversations.
Our second longest podcast
I didn't
episode
talk to
you two.
Kayla or Lucas for 3 weeks.
Only Dan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we made that anti-Island
episode. That's how I do things. Yep.
That's why we talked about anime.
Talked about anime. Yeah.
I was actually supposed to be on that episode too, which would have been funnier.
No, you weren't allowed.
You weren't allowed because it was the anti-Island episode.
And also I was working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, I went into this kind of with the expectation that they were going to be good.
No,
but
I
Dan
think
was
you
just,
went into this with the hope that they would be terrible.
I
kind of wished they were going to be... Yeah.
You
definitely
wished
that they were going to be terrible.
I kind of wasn't, hoping that they were going to be my favorite. I'll say that.
You were hoping for bad. Come on.
Well, I was, expecting them to be fine, but I maybe there was a little...
It was the whole, again, it's... the biggest gripe I think we had with half of these groups so far is that they didn't really have a set direction for it. And this is the one group that is
I don't even know if I'd say that because they are still very big hit.
I disagree with that.
It just sounds like Big Hit.
Incredibly
I just
big
really
hit.
like everything Big Hit does. I really like it.
It's the same thing that I am with Drippin.
For me,
Drippin is completely Woolham and Enhypen is very big hit.
This did some very big hit. You're right.
Yeah, the Woolham shill likes Drippin. The Big Hit shill likes Enhypen.
I mean,
are on brand at all times.
Nothing is surprising here.
Nothing is a surprise.
I just hate everything, so it's
Lucas doesn't like K-pop.
There's no JYP.
I just don't actually like K-pop.
There was no JYP boy groups this year, so I can't gush over them.
Yeah. And 17 haven't, debuted again.
Well,
I don't know.
17
hasn't been a second debut.
Yeah, they're not debuting, so I'm stuck.
You only like 4 things.
Pledis is not making another.
Let's be honest here, Lucas. You like 4 things. Period.
Maybe. And okay, we're gonna move on.
But overall,
yeah, and so
I liked. I was very.
Yeah.
Very. I don't know what I expected. I actually was worried at some points where I'm concerned. Well. But overall, it was very good. I really liked it. I like the concept. I also just love my super dramatic K-pop. Where it just is far more dramatic than it needs to be. Yes, vampires. I'm all into
lore.
it.
Never happened. I don't
well, no, I don't mean lore. One Us is super dramatic, and I like that.
I suppose.
If they continue the vampires, I am definitely more out on them if they continue the through line of vampires.
I think that
if that dies here, then I'm more okay with it. If the vampires just die,
I think that this is going to end up being similar to how Vix used to do their concepts, where it's there's lore, but it's this is the lore.
This isn't a.
It's how TXT's doing it. TXT's lore is just sort of disconnected. Yeah, TXT's lore is not connected to each other. Everything is its own concept.
I also want to talk about how the Give and Taken is just about being a vampire.
Yes, it is a song. Blatantly about being a vampire, and I love it.
Yes.
I kind of love it.
Yes.
There's no subtext. It's all text.
It's just vampire. Vampirism.
Be a vampire.
Damn.
Yeah. Well filmed as well, and good dance. I mean, that was kind of what.
And there's money there. Let's be honest. That's the other thing is that there's money. Big Hit has all. Money. It's Big Hit and CG, all of the money in the world is available to this group.
Yeah.
All of the money was thrown at this group.
I think it worked out, and I had high expectations, and they met them. So like that's already like a win. So
look, this is Mnet. And this is Mnet and Big Hit, and it's already sold. It's already the best-selling debut group of this year. I am the most confident that they'll be fine. They're gonna be. No. They'll be here for a long time.
I think so. And we'll see what happens to all the rejects.
To everyone else. Drippin will be fine. B1 Harmony will be fine.
I'm talking the
ones who got eliminated.
Another show. Those. Eliminated. Like, we'll show up and other small book will have... 2021 will be a bunch of like, oh, here's an X9
this year
person,
was the year of
here's
the
an
X1
island.
Trainees. Next year's going to be all of the other island trainees. It'll be fine.
Yep. That's how it goes.
We're just going to have a fun time next.
Are they going to go into the Pledis Big Hit labels new boy group? That'll happen at some point in time. Some of them are going to go there.
That'll have like 5 island people.
Yeah, we'll find out. Who knows these days. So do we want to actually conclude this whole boy group bonanza with our rankings of
we did a ranking like we did last time, a joint ranking of these 8 groups.
Yes.
Shall we start from the bottom?
Plus
bottom.
Well, the 8 groups plus the.
So we also have individual.
We also have personal rankings. We first have the 8 groups
of all of them.
I think we kind of agreed. This wasn't too hard.
Much, yeah.
So at number 8, we've ranked Ghost 9, just because they're that generic.
Not our favorite.
Very generic.
Very generic. Then 7 is Checkmate. Again, very generic.
Probably gonna disband soon.
Probably dead already. Then we have Bay 173. We like them. I have faith that they'll be fine. I have faith that we're going to hear a lot more from them.
Yeah.
Then we have UNVS. Again.
Because of Dan, mostly.
Who knows?
Mostly
who knows
me,
what the future
but also
holds for
I have
UNVS.
no idea what their companies. I mean, the fact they're making these singles, like, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what the future holds for UNVS. Then we have Drippin. Again, I just want them to have a concept.
I think they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they need a concept.
They need a concept,
but once they figure that out, they'll be fine forever.
They need a non-cowboy concept.
Non-cowboy concept.
Was like, as if, have they indicated that cowboy is an option?
Did I scar you now? You just think they're gonna do
If
cowboy?
Drippin's next comeback is Cowboys, I am blaming 100% of that on you. Like, you willed it into the world.
I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame.
We'll just send an email to Woolham. We're just gonna start mass emailing Woolham.
Hey, we have a connection to someone at Woolham now.
Yeah, we do. I was about to say, get Tuck.
Yeah, get Tuck
to
email
We're just gonna tell Tuck to email the Woolham lady to be
Cowboys
like, look,
are in.
Cowboys are the next
Lucas
big...
has this idea.
Trust us.
Lucas has an idea. He's smart. He knows his K-pop. He likes K-pop a lot.
He likes all of the K-pop. Thus has figured it out. Alright, so at 3rd place we have P1 Harmony. The shock of this whole thing is that P1 Harmony is
shocking.
3rd. Insane.
And I'm happy with that.
I very good. I like them. I think FNC, I think that they'll be fine. I think we're going to hear a lot more from P1 Harmony. Then 2, we have WeI. Just a debuted group.
Just a 3-year-old group.
Just been doing this for 3 years already. I don't know what else you want me to say. And then number 1, Enhypen. Oh my god, will they be fine?
Yes. They will be fine. Absolutely fine.
They'll be fine. I already bought both versions of their album. Lucas, we're gonna be talking about Enhypen for a very long time.
Oh boy.
Well, it's a good thing you don't hate them.
And your favorite, Jake, is just gonna be there forever.
Jake has to stop speaking in the intro and the outros of the album. They have to stop doing that.
Jake a monologue.
He's got to stop
just
doing
a long monologue.
He's got 2 monologues.
He's got
a
2
soliloquy,
monologues, if you will, in this album. One I get. 2 of them? Jesus.
2.
They like the accent because
very
they didn't even give
popular
one to
Australian
Jay.
accent.
Did you like the Australian
of course.
accent?
Because Jay also speaks English, but instead of giving one to each of them, they just gave it to Jake with the Australian accent.
Sure.
Accents are cool because even the international audience likes that.
Accents. All right.
Sure.
Do we want to do we've also done a personal ranking of all. Well, we did 16 groups between part 1 and part 2, but we've taken out H and D because they're just in Bay 173. Like, they don't need to be on here twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kayla, what is your
ranking? So I guess I'll start from the bottom. At the bottom, we got Gravity and Ghost 9, which those are just very much there for the same reason of being incredibly generic. And
they're both very similar.
They're incredibly similar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have Checkmate, and then Elast, MCND, Treasure, Bay 173, DKB, UNVS, P1 Harmony, Enhypen, 2, WeI, Drippin, and Lucy. We have all of us have very similar
lists.
Bottom.
It's really the middle where everything gets a little murky.
Yeah.
So, Lucas.
So starting from the bottom, Gravity, Ghost 9. I'm sorry. Actually, Gravity, Ghost 9, Checkmate. So same bottom 3. Yeah, I don't know. It's about the same. And then I put WeI down there. I'm just gonna listen to Newest. I'm sorry.
You're just like, I already have Newest. I don't need to invest in more people.
To me, I was listening to this and I was like, why don't I just, go back to that? Not because they're bad, just because I found them very derivative. And it's like, I felt that other people did different things better. I don't know. Then I have UNVS, and then Elast, then Bay 173, then DKB, then Treasure, then Enhypen, then Drippin, then P1 Harmony, MCND, 2, and Lucy. Yeah.
Yep.
Dan.
I have the same bottom 3, just a little different. I have Gravity, then Checkmate, because of the same reason. I just go listen to Card, Ghost 9. And then I go Elast, WeI, Bay 173, Drippin, MCND, DKB, Treasure, P1 Harmony, 2, UNVS, no surprise to anyone, Enhypen, Lucy.
Look at that.
Those are my 3 groups.
You'll see we have very similar number ones. So I have the same bottom 3, Gravity, Ghost 9, Checkmate. Then I go Elast, UNVS, Treasure, Bay 173, DKB, Drippin, 2, WeI, P1 Harmony, MCND, Enhypen, and number 1, Lucy.
Lucy making a clean sweep.
Lucy made a clean sweep.
We all have one group we like, and then we all have one second group we like, and then in that middle section they're very close. A lot of us have multiple of the same, just a little here and there different, but for the most part
we all have a number. We all have Lucy, if you even don't count Lucy, which is just a clean sweep.
Lucy is on
everyone
another
sort of
tier
this year
this
had a group that they just really fell
don't
for.
even count Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy doesn't count.
No.
Lucy's in the god tier already.
Lucy is S plus tier K-pop right now.
Right, because Kayla bought the Drippin albums,
I did.
Lucas bought the 2 albums, and then Sammy and I bought the Enhypen albums. Did you buy?
But I also bought the MCND albums.
I was gonna say you bought MCND, so it's kind of even there.
I decided that I needed to also support them because I don't trust Top Media. I don't.
Oh boy.
They've given me no reason to trust them.
But yeah, I think that kind of concludes everything.
I think that overall this year was a very good year for boy group debuts.
There's so many of them too. Like
there were so many of them.
16, and not we didn't even talk about some of them.
No, I just think overall, like, the quality was all there. Like, none of these I think I would call quote unquote like new goo boy groups, because all of them have a level of quality to them and like a level of notoriety that I think is good.
Yeah, most of them are either from a big company, or like a decently sized company, or they have like people from survival shows in them. So
and like popular people from survival shows.
Yes.
So I think that all of these groups have a very good chance of succeeding and being big. I don't know who it will be. I have my own guesses. And I have my hopes and wants, but this was a very good year for boy groups. And
it was a very good year.
You'll see when we did our knee slapping awards that we were.
This is the category where we're gonna. This is like where our friendship was gonna die. Was picking best boy group debut.
This somehow was the hardest choice we made. It was the hardest choice.
We were ready to fight each other for it
because we didn't nominate Lucy because Lucy's a band.
Lucy's a band. So they
thus we were ready to like just this was the hill we were all gonna die on.
Yep.
Right.
But you will find out who wins that next year when the Slappin awards come out.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
So this has been our 2020 boy group debuts part 2, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. So if you're listening to us on YouTube, we also are on all major podcasting platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening to us on one of those, we also have a YouTube channel, the Slappin Kpop podcast, where along with all of our episodes, we post a lot of fun clip videos, which will be very, very soon, nomination videos for our Slappin year-end awards. And we also
our top 100 K-pop
top
songs
100 songs of the year. Yep, we're all doing that too, individually. So you're gonna get a lot of that.
Yep.
And we also have a Twitter account where we will post whenever our new episodes come out, along with other just really fun random content. And we also have an Instagram. That is our collective K-pop collection Instagram. So if you're into K-pop album collecting, that's a fun thing to follow there. But yes.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun stuff coming at the end of the year. So stay tuned
we
for
have a very busy end of the year.
Fun stuff.
And also next week is when we start our best and worst of the year.
Yep.
So stick around for those fun episodes. And cancel us.
Cancel us, yeah.
I dare you.
How we're gonna get canceled.
We already are.
I'm inviting it at this point. I don't care.
You're inviting the Stan Twitter to come.
I'm inviting Stan Twitter.
Alright, we will
Come
see
to
you
the
guys
meeting.
in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.